Good afternoon, everyone. Looks like we have a nice full crowd today, so we'll go ahead and jump right into this. I'm going to go ahead and call the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for August 17th, 2022 to order. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, and justice for all. Thank you very much. Does anybody on the panel here, everybody had a chance to look at the agenda? Does anybody know if there's any potential conflicts of interest that they may have with any of the items? No? Okay, keep on going. I'd like to get an approval for the Board of Appeals meeting minutes from July, if I can get, everybody had a chance to look those over.
I make a motion that we accept them.
Okay, so we have a motion.
Jim, you got something else?
Yeah.
I was not in attendance at the last board meeting.
Sure, okay. No problem. Thank you. All right, so we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve in a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Okay, minutes are passed. Okay, first item here, item number 5, variance application by Joseph Kerner. Sorry about that. Is requesting to construct a parking pad for their RV trailer in their required street yard located at 837 Leland Avenue. Sir, if you can step right up to the podium there and please let us know what we're doing today.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. And thank you for hearing our request for a variance. Yeah, we live at 837 Leland Avenue, Sheboygan, Wisconsin. We're requesting applying for a variance to put a parking pad on our property just west of our fence for our 30-foot RV. Right, it currently is sitting on the pad in front of our garage. We have no access to our garage, so we had been parking it on the grass, but obviously we got tagged for that, and so we're requesting if we could get a variance to put a pad on that property, and I have outlined the dimensions and everything. You should have that on your, I gave you a outline of what we're looking for.
Sure.
It's actually an inconvenience to us because we can't use the garage, and when we need to pull out to go camping, we have to pull it out the day before we go camping because there's people parked on 9th Street, which is a one-way street, and there's maybe 6, 7, 8 cars that are parked there, especially like on a Friday, if we leave on a Friday. So Thursday, we have to pull it out onto the road when people are at work, and then we have to finish our packing the day of, and that creates a hazard because our door, being a one-way street, our door opens to the middle of the road, and our steps go down in towards the road, and we have to pack it from there, our finishing items such as coolers and food and everything, things you can't put in the night before. So that creates a hazard for people driving or for us opening the door and coming back out into the traffic. We don't know if there's vehicles coming. So that would eliminate that if we could put that on our property, which we have, it would be 19, I do believe I have on there, 19 feet from the sidewalk, the beginning of this, or the side of the pad. So there's plenty of room there for anybody at the corner of Leland and 9th to see traffic. And, there is no issue with visibility. So we would be able to pack it on our property. And also being on our property, we would be able to leave either way in the alley. We could go east or west. So that would eliminate having to hopefully park on the street the night before. And I do have it, I would like it in the center of our fence line because we have 3 huge silver maple trees. And I don't want to park it under the trees because of, like, we had that windstorm about a month ago and branches came out, knocked over plenty of trees in the city. So this would be in between and I wouldn't have a hazard of the branches falling on the rubber roof and puncturing it, which would, it would damage the camper extensively. So we're asking, my wife and I, Linda, are asking if we could get a variance for that parking pad.
Okay, all right, wonderful. Thank you very much for that. I guess we'll start with Steve.
Sure. So basically the reason why they're here is typically for recreational vehicles, you're not allowed to park those in a front or a street yard. This is a corner lot, as you had mentioned. So basically what you can see is what they've been doing. When you take a look at the photos, you can see the RV parked behind the garage. And you can see, so that's one of their entrance door to the garage is being blocked by the RV. It's a pretty substantial RV, and whether or not something like this actually fits on the lot is another question. But they're taking a look at that front yard, and so you can kind of see how it's been parked previously. And so typically you have to have on a paved surface. If the board is considering approving a variance, I definitely think that there should either be plantings or arborvitaes or something along that street frontage, so you're not just seeing this RV in basically this front yard along, I think that's 9th, is that 9th? I can't remember.
Yes.
9th Street. So really, the options are to deny and not allow it, and they'd have to find a parking space somewhere else. Or the option would be to approve it where they're asking for. But if that's the case, like I said, they should work with staff in terms of lining up the street frontage with arborvitaes or something that's going to provide some screening over there so that you just don't see this basically in the front yard. So those are staff's comments.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
It's on the side of the house, it's not on the front.
Right, but it's the front yard to everyone else on 9th Street that's looking at it from across the street.
I did get everybody's signature.
Yes, that's a good point.
They have no problem
Okay,
with our camper. And I went north, south, east, and west.
Yeah.
All the neighbors were very nice and so they have no problem.
is there anybody
looking
here?
at it or anything.
Are there any neighbors here for this particular?
not here.
I don't know, okay.
They signed
Okay.
the paper that I had. You should have a copy of it.
Yeah, there we go.
They were all in agreement. That it's not an issue at all. It's not an eyesore or anything.
Okay. Anybody have any questions or any discussion?
Is that only gonna be in the summertime it's gonna park there?
I can certainly.
You're not gonna do it in the wintertime?
I could certainly, because I can only get out of the driveway one way. If I park on the side there, and have a pad there, I can go both ways, east or west to get out. But I can certainly, when we're not using it, I could probably put it back on the pad, but we wouldn't have use of our garage again. But if that would be,
Okay, go ahead.
It could be that, let me try the question a little differently. Do you store the trailer on your property during the winter?
yes,
And have you had it for a long time?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we store it on the slab.
That covers that?
What do you think?
Yeah.
Because it's easier, I mean, if I were to store it over there, I'd have to snow blow back in that area. get the variance, if that's gonna be all right. That's what
I was actually referring to like a storage area, a storage unit.
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you.
Do we need him, is he coming through loud enough? Do we have to have him stand back up?
Yeah, I don't,
Okay. Okay. Thoughts on the possibility of allowing this to go through, but planting the taller line of bushes or something?
Yeah. Yeah, I would think that my only concern, if those neighbors move out and the new neighbors come in, would they be seeing the big garage? But if it would be hidden with the tall trees, I mean, that's a much taller garage, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, you can see, so if you take a look at the neighbors, you can see on the west side of the street, they're all, obviously facing that direction. This is an older picture. They've done a lot of cleaning of the branches and things like that, so that's all trimmed. So it's kind of a little bit, but it gives you an idea as far as what was there. But the garage, I think the garage that is back there is probably, I would say, 15 feet. I would say the garage that you see in this picture, just in this area, is about a typical size garage in terms of height.
Okay.
But the trailer is very tall. And so from that perspective, even if you put, certain amount of landscaping in here, you still may see, and that's why I'm saying we could always work with the applicants, but something like an arborvitae or something that grows with a little bit of height to, maybe it doesn't cover it all in day one, but in a few years it grows tall enough that it provides additional screening. But that's up to the board. That was just some thoughts.
What would,
Could you step up to the mic, sir, because we're recording this and they can't hear you without it. Thank you.
instead of the planting those trees, what if I were to extend our fence line, our fence out, and make like a sleeve where it could go in, and a fence would be on the west side of the trailer?
Yeah.
I really don't want to
The
put any.
fence is only gonna be 6 feet tall and your trailer is what, 12?
Yeah, but once again, the neighbors are all fine with it, and they're the ones that are looking at it.
Yeah, from my,
They're all-
from a
they're all
staff
good with it.
perspective, I would say landscaping, the fence, we'd have to do another variance because the fence is in a street yard and needs to be 25 feet back as well, and that's not part of this application. So if we wanted to do something like that, we could hold it and have the applicant come back. But right now, this is strictly just for the location of the RV, and so that's what we're talking about today.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to see if we can work with this and then find a way to kind of disguise that area where the camper's going to be. Now, the current neighbors might be okay with it, but, people move and come and go, so what happens if somebody else doesn't, moving in, they don't appreciate that. So the idea here is to try to kind
I
of
don't, do you
camouflage it a little bit.
Do you get a lot of that from other people complaining about trailers? Because there's many trailers parked in driveways.
Got them
right-
all the time.
Yeah, very close to the street.
And that's the problem with 6,000 square foot lots and 24-foot trailers.
Yeah, I've got a double lot, and like I said, I'm 15 feet from the sidewalk. Then you add another, 4, 8, 10 feet to the street, and you're talking almost 25 feet away from the street, which really.
I don't know if anybody, just getting the sense here, I don't know if anybody's got really an issue, and we'll find out when we take the vote. But again, I think what we're gonna try to do now is, if we approve this, what do we do? Do we plant those taller arborvitae up there, or do we work with you on a fence? But again, the fence is gonna be another application now to come back in, so you can move that fence over, to work within the city guidelines on that, but, no, do we have any motion or anything to?
I think if the neighbors are okay with it, they have to give them that, and we have their signature, I have no objection to it.
As is.
I'd like to make a motion
Okay,
that we accept the parking pad for the RV trailer in their yard at 837 Leland Avenue with the addition of greenery that is approved by the staff and works out for you also, and that would be the close of it.
Okay, who do we talk to about the greenery?
The staff.
Yeah, we would have to talk, and we'd probably have to get some specific landscaping plan to show where you're gonna put what and the heights and things like that, so you'd probably be working with myself on that.
Okay,
So that motion.
okay, so we have a motion to approve with the planting of the greenery stuff, the green stuff. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Motion passes.
thank you.
Okay, so you got that part, and I'll just have a conversation with Steve and the staff there, and then they'll get everything straightened out with
Okay,
you.
when do I do that?
We can, start talking as soon as tomorrow.
Okay, so do I have to make an appointment?
Yeah, why don't I, let's see here. Yeah, I'll get you my information. And then, actually, you can call building inspection, and then what's that? One of my cards is downstairs on the second floor. My name's Steve Sokolowski. If you just
Okay.
ask the staff, they'll be able to give you one.
I'll grab a card on
Yes,
the way out.
yes, and then we can talk.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We free to leave then?
You're all set?
Yeah, you're good.
Sure, thank you. Okay, item number 6, we have a variance application by Melanie Gushow to construct a 6-foot-tall wooden privacy fence in the required start yard of the property is this supposed to be started front?
Street, yeah.
Street yard, okay, of the property located at 1004 Erie Avenue. Ms. Gushow, please step up to the podium and let us know what we're doing today.
Sorry, my shoes are loud. I'm really nervous. The reason for this request is that I want to be able to allow my son with his unique neurodiversity as much as safety as possible while still affording him the normal reasonable use of the space within a fence.
I can, it's a little bit.
The microphone?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, if you can pull the mic down just a little bit.
Yep,
There you go,
thank you.
Like so?
there you go.
Yep,
Should I repeat?
no, you're good, you're good.
Okay. He's nonverbal autistic and he elopes very often, and he's 5'5", I'm 5'4". So he is known for jumping on high things at school. I wasn't able to get in contact with someone to have proof for that, but yeah, he would jump a 4-foot fence. So yes, that's the reason why
Okay,
I would like the 6-foot fence.
Could I
Sure,
explain a
yep,
little
Steve,
bit,
yep,
and
go
then you
ahead.
can correct me if I'm wrong on anything. So these are the houses that have been done on Erie Avenue. This particular home, the map right now doesn't show the house on it, so I'll go
Yeah.
back to that. But this is Erie Avenue and North 10th Street, Magic Car Wash across the street, the city gardens, signalized area, pretty busy intersection.
Yes.
I don't know,
There's a home here
I
currently.
don't, yep, so you can see the home, here's the shed, this is the yard portion that they're talking about on 10th Street. So you can kind of see, the home is in this area, the shed, this is kind of in, so here is the side view that you see with the home being constructed. I don't know all the specifics that you know in terms of your son and the issues that are involved, but a lot of times, so again, this is the exact same situation that we're talking about as the last matter. It's a front yard, and it has the, so there's a front yard and then you have the street yard. So this is oftentimes what we're dealing with regards to putting that shadow back style fence or something along the street yards. So it does sound like there's some safety issues involved in this matter. And so from that perspective, if we are gonna do it, the proposal that you're seeing is, you can kind of see, so the house is in this area in the front, this is Erie Avenue, and then the fence would come from the house a little bit over the driveway, and once past the driveway, it just a little bit of section along 10th Street, and then along the alley area. That's correct, correct? So basically, what you're seeing is a majority of that fence kind of coming from the house and going in here and coming on over. So a lot of times what we've done in the past has, if it's been in the front, we've required it to be shadow box, and that would be what staff would be recommending.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. Anybody have any comments or questions?
So how long is that fence? How many?
That's gonna be a lot of fence.
Yeah.
Looks,
How long is it? I don't have the calculations, but it should be on the,
Yeah, okay, so if I could.
Okay, I can see it, okay. Got
It's,
it. Wow.
so there's about 40 feet from the driveway north to the alley. You can see with the diagonal there, the reason for the diagonal is to provide a sight corner at the driveway as well as at the alley. So that's why it's kind of shows those two sight triangles. Then 45 feet along the alley, and then approximately 85 feet to the back of the house. So there's a little bit of fencing, and it sounds like in this particular case, that would help you out in terms of using that yard and not having those concerns.
yes.
yeah.
Well, if I were to do the 25 feet and also the so the 25 feet in, it doesn't give me enough when I go across, because the shed and then my garden bed is right there. I won't be able to put a sensory equipment out there for him, which is about 15 wide, 15 long, which has sensory things for him so he can play outside. He's always in the house. I mean, that was the whole reason why I wanted a house. So I can go outside with him, but it's still safe for him.
Yeah.
So you won't,
Sure.
I'm scared. I don't want him to run off.
Yeah,
And he does that a lot.
it's a busy intersection, and
Yes.
it sounds like in this particular instance, it might be helpful from a safety perspective in that area. Sure. It looks like we might have someone else.
Yeah, do we have somebody?
Am I able to say something?
You sure can. Yeah, please come on up.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Karina Burdick with Habitat for Humanity. So we actually built the home for Melanie and her family. And a part of the reason that we did select the corner lot was so that there was closer access for Adrian to get onto the bus. And having the fence, again, to her point, he is nonverbal autistic. He will continue to be so. He'll be living with Melanie as long as she is able to care for him, and I think this is their forever home, so it's just making an accommodation for them long-term.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? No? Do I have a motion to approve?
I'd move to approve.
All right, so we have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, so we have a motion.
Shadow box design?
Yep. Okay, so we have a motion to approve and a second. Now we're gonna go with the shadow boxing, right? Or that design?
Right.
Okay, all right. So that's part of the motion then?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion to approve in a second. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Motion passes. So it looks like you're gonna be able to put that fence up?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So what you'll just need to do is work with our building inspection department. And I know from a design, you might have to talk to them a little bit in terms of what that shadow box, that board-on-board style. So I don't know if that's any help, but if there's any help, we can talk to you a little bit about that. And the reason being is because it's in that front yard. So
Okay, so
you're good.
You're all
okay.
set.
Do I make an appointment or? what?
You'll be able to talk to building inspection about getting permits to do it.
Okay,
So you got your variance and the board approved that for you.
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. All right. Next item, number 7, we have a variance application by Travis Hammer is requesting to replace an existing garage with a new 20-foot by 24-foot garage. The new garage would not meet the required street yard property line setback located at 2017 Broadway Avenue. Mr. Hammer, please come on up. Let us know what we're doing today.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am here to ask for a variance on a new garage. I have an existing garage that is, shall we say, not in good shape. I wanted to replace it with a larger one and allow myself some off-street parking for me and my family. And currently, we do not, would not meet the distance from the garage to the sidewalk on the variance, and we were asking that we pretty much be able to keep our garage where it is, moving a foot further from the alleyway to accommodate for that part of the ordinance. We are limited in space to do some things, so we were looking for an approval for that.
Okay. All right, Steve?
Yeah, if you take a look here, again, another corner lot. And so you can kind of see the home that they have here. So I can't remember. Can you help me out, Travis? What's the name of the street that you front on?
The front is Broadway Avenue.
Broadway, I'm sorry, thanks. And so again, they have the corner lot on South 21st Street here. It's an older garage. There were some pictures that you can see. Maybe you could talk a little bit, Travis, about the material and what you might be looking to do to both the garage as well as potentially the house in terms of the improvements.
So we were going to remove the garage completely, have a new garage installed, new siding, new roof, all of that, and then eventually, to the blue color there, it's a Newport Bay blue. We would start with the garage now with the idea that next year we would hit our house and get the house to match. Currently, we aren't matching. We wanted to make this better, more appealing, obviously. So this was just a step in that direction.
Yeah, so I think, from that perspective, they're looking at just increasing the size a little bit, doing some improvements. You can see there's a large boulevard space here. Oftentimes, I don't know, I'm just guessing 9, 8, 9, 10, I don't know, just any thoughts on 11 feet? So it's, even though it's approximately, 19 feet, there's this additional area here, so it's fairly set back from the street. And so it was a nice improvement that they're looking at doing and not looking to do much more. They're gonna do a new driveway, things like that. So staff didn't have any objections to the proposal. I don't know if there's any neighbors.
Is anybody here aside from that? No? Okay. Did you hear from any of the neighbors?
No.
Letters went out? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, do we have any questions, comments?
Are we on?
We are on.
I have a question. Could we go back
Pictures?
to a photo, please?
Sure. I don't think your mic is on.
Could we go back to the photo? Perfect. So we're going to we're going to take the garage down. We're going to move, I'm going to say that moving to the left is west.
Yep, north.
North, okay. Yeah. So we're going to pick up the side of the garage closest to the alley and move that 1 foot to the north.
Yep.
The whole structure, but the structure will increase in size to the north.
Mm-hmm.
Then that whole entire driveway will also expand?
Yes.
Okay, so your apron and everything?
Yes, we're making it to about 20 feet wide.
Okay,
Do you have a survey to the property?
Oh, and some of the city sidewalk as well. Some of the parts that are actually cracked, we were going to also be replacing.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Do you have a survey to the property?
Yes, I do.
Could we see that?
I should have handed it in. I do
Yeah, let's
have
see.
another with me.
Brent,
That was his garage.
public something.
This is the garage right now?
That would be existing and then the new and then all the way out to and then the city side.
Where does the lot actually start? It's on the inside of that sidewalk, isn't it? The lot is on the inside of the sidewalk.
Correct.
Well, you talked about this space in here that's belonged to the city.
Right, because we would do all of that, replace it all.
They can get permits to do that work.
He's making improvements.
That's improvement to the sidewalk and driveway. So basically,
Thank you.
what we were talking about is this section right in here. Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Do we have a motion to approve or otherwise?
I have a motion to approve.
Okay, so we have a
Having a
mo-
two-car garage, I understand why you need to do that.
so we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion to approve in a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Motion passes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, moving on. Item number 8, we have a variance application by Scott Rutledge, who widened his existing driveway to 36 feet when the maximum width is 25 feet, located at 1547 North 21st Street. Mr. Rutledge, how are you today?
Yes, good,
All right.
yourself?
Excellent, thank you. All right, so let us know what we got here today.
So, clearly, if you've seen some of the pictures, I'm no longer looking for approval, I'm now looking for forgiveness.
Yeah.
So you can see that fresh patch of concrete there in front of the right portion of the garage. The previous owners did an addition there and left that portion in front of that part of the garage and on the other side of the fence, correct, that triangle, grass. So the issue I ran into my first year moving there was snow blowing, so I would still have access to that portion of the garage. I ended up taking all the grass off the top of there with a snow blower. Did that the next year too, so I've been planting, scalping, replanting repeatedly. And being a new homeowner, I was not aware of any of this process. Lesson learned on that. I poured the concrete triangle there and didn't think anything of it. And then that was about a year and a half ago. And that brings us to today where that is now too wide of a driveway, 36 feet instead of the approved 25 feet. I was working with Jeff Ludsky. He mentioned I could cut out a very small wedge, so that way I think it's an apron is what it was called, but basically cut out a very small wedge and leave it grass. I would still run into the same issue. I don't have any issues with any of my neighbors there. They all said it was fine. I'm just looking for forgiveness, and if I could leave that all concrete, that would be much appreciative. If I do need to cut out a small wedge, I could. I don't think it would make it look any better if looks are a concern here, but that about sums that up.
Okay, so we're looking at that extra little triangle.
Yeah,
right there.
yeah.
Okay, all
So,
right.
so basically what it comes down to is with driveways and things like that, you're allowed, 25 feet at kind of the street in terms of where the driveway can be 25 feet. So that's, when you look at the difference here, that difference, and you can see this is still in front of the garage and things like that, so you can pave in front of your garage. It's just that the width has to be 25 feet, so there's not a very big chunk that is, there in that area, so staff was not objecting to the request.
Thank you, Steve. Any questions, comments?
Oh, I don't understand, sorry. What are we approving? That it remains the same?
Yeah, that he would be allowed to keep this as is.
If you see the portion there, if you go back up that picture or that one even, that where I have the level and tape measure laid out, that's what Jeff had said would need to be cut out, not a large portion. However, the issue was I brought the driveway all the way to the sidewalk and did not leave it extended out.
Okay.
Any other questions? Comments? Well, can we entertain a motion to approve or deny, or?
Motion to approve?
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you very much.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Forgiveness granted.
Yeah,
Yes,
Lesson learned, by the way.
get your permits.
right, yeah. Okay, last item, number 9, we have a variance application by Fidel Nahara. Did I get that right? All right. Who poured concrete sidewalks and patios around the perimeter of the dwelling. The concrete at the west side is closer than 3 feet to the side property line. The concrete on the east side crosses over the side property line located at 1612 Indiana Avenue. Mr. Nahara, please let us know what we're doing
Yes,
today.
hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fidel. And actually, I have probably same issue with the gentleman who just left. I have a letter from the city, I believe, because we bought this house last year. And I have a letter just to repair the walkway on the east side of the house and even the front, repair the front concrete. And actually, I took the permits and everything, but obviously we did it myself with some friends. I never know about the codes and everything that we have to step like 3 feet away from the sidewalk, from the front sidewalk. And it was easy for us just to buy like a truck of concrete and start just repairing what we have just to repair. But at the same time, we say, well, you know what, we got extra more concrete. Well, we don't just go all straight out there, and we just put the front exactly out there. So we just did all the front of the house. Plus, we never thought too, we did the east side from the neighbor. There was a gap of like 6 inches out there. So, well, we can just leave it like that. But if we just leave it like that, the water is gonna go through for both houses. So let's say this is my house, this is the neighbor house. So really there was a gap of 6 inches. So we just decided to go all straight. So we're thinking that we're gonna do a favor to the neighbor too, so the water can just go to the street and not like to my neighbors. So that's probably the problem that we did, or actually the crime that we did. And in the backside too, we just tried to repair the patio there, and we just make it wide. So just to put the garbage cans out there, so they don't have to be in the grass and everything. And when Patrick was there, just inspecting everything, so he told me about all the wrong things that we did obviously out there. So again, I didn't know about all this one, so he told me we need just to be coming and see if that was a proof, just to get a forgiveness, or we have to be cutting out the concrete and just go back what it was, and yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you. Steve?
All right, yeah, so I guess there were some permits taken to do some remodeling
Yes.
of the interior of the house. Not sure how that's going because it looks like the permit was started in May of last year. Looks like you may have gotten an extension.
Correct.
Then got a permit to do the front steps.
Yes.
And when we came out, everything was done, as you can see here. You can see, what it was.
Yes.
And so there was some violation letters sent to the owner with regards to maintenance of the property. You can see all the weeds and things like that. So when the applicant came in, they decided to pave all that, and and so they came in for a permit because they had to redo the stoop. And instead of just doing the stoop, they did, everything in front. And so that includes this section on the west side. Not sure why that got done, but I have no idea where the property line is, whether this is on their property, whether it's not. Not sure what its purpose is, but, you know, staff is certainly going to be recommending denial of that one and to have that removed. In the front, you're supposed to have 3 feet and to have, you know, landscaping along the front like like a lot of the other houses in the area have their front homes. And yes, the business has the sidewalk that's been like that for many years, but you're supposed to be 3 feet in here. And then it's hard to see, but there is a little bit of a sidewalk on this other, on the west side. And you are able to replace what is there. Let me get the picture, but you're not, let's see here.
Right there.
You can kind of see how small it is, and you're able to replace, and we have no idea where the property line is. Again, it's supposed to be 3 feet from the property line. You know, he mentions that he did the deck. This goes all the way to the house. So from a stormwater perspective, the grass was there to handle some of the water. Now all the water is gonna go on the pavement, and it's gonna go probably to the houses because there's nowhere for it to go. And and then as far as the remodel, you know, you can see there's a tremendous amount of debris and materials and things like that in the backyard. So, staff was going to be recommending that all of that the variance request be denied and that it be removed except for the stoop, and that sidewalk on the east side be redone so that it was just this section that could be done, you know, because only that section could be replaced, not increasing the size of it. So the recommendation from staff is to deny the variance request and to have everything be brought back to its original state, which was the grass and that little bit of sidewalk.
Sir, we'll get to you. Okay. Thank you, Steve. Well, okay, well, sir, are you here? Obviously you're here for this. So if you could, sir, step up to the podium so we can hear you.
I'm the neighbor at 1608, I own the property, and I saw the cement. It's touching the house, but it's pitched from the front, the center of the house, between his house and my house. It's pitched towards the street and halfway, and then pitched back. And I talked with Jose. And I said to him that I thought that would be okay. My only fear is I don't know how much cement expands when it gets overly hot, but it's a gangway, it's a narrow gangway. I don't see that as being detrimental to my brick wall, the basement wall, along the entire length of the house.
Okay, so you own the property where they just
Right here.
finished the whole entire
Right up to
row
the
of
house,
concrete?
yes.
Okay.
And to me,
Clean.
I would almost call that advantageous because the cement, the water cannot go into my basement. Correct. Because of the pitch. It's not a big pitch, but it's enough of a pitch to where it's more than a 1/4 inch per foot.
Okay.
Estimate.
Can I make one comment real quick? And this gentleman will be receiving a letter too, because he's got concrete that he paved right up to the line, so he's gonna have to apply for a variance as well.
Who are you talking about, me?
You,
What did I do wrong?
you don't have 3 feet of space between your pavement and your property line. So that
I already
area,
had that approved by Pat.
you don't have any permits for that.
I sure do have a permit.
Oh, but you
You have a picture of the property, you can see it.
right,
I have
exactly.
36 inches by 30 feet.
Yeah, you're on the side here, your side property line, it needs to be 3 feet, just like this gentleman. So both of you are in violation of the 3-foot setback. So you will have to come in for a variance if you're gonna, be expecting that as well. So that'll be
I
forthcoming.
explained, I had Pat there twice, not once, twice. I told him exactly what it was going to do. He told me exactly what I had to have in front, and I did exactly what I said I was gonna do.
Yeah, like I said, it
How
needs
much
to be
more do I
3
have to
feet.
do to get approval before I start something?
It's 3 feet, and so that, both of you are gonna be in that situation, so he's gonna have to come in as well at some point
Okay,
in time.
so.
There
sir-
isn't 3 feet to play with.
Correct, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying, exactly, that's why it can't be done.
But we don't have 3 feet, sir, I'm sorry, just,
That-
but yeah, we got the,
Right.
let's say, the sidewalk, I mean, I cannot go 3
Neither
feet
one
from
of you
me.
know where the property line is.
Well, actually,
The
yeah,
fence line, if you look at the
Correct.
fence line.
We need there's a survey that would need to be shown like these others have shown before us, and the pavement has to be 3 feet to the property line. You don't have 3 feet to the property line. So it shouldn't have been done, is what I'm saying.
What should have been done?
The pavement
On his side,
on both sides.
there's only 6-inch.
That's correct. You're exactly right. You're right. You're exactly right. And so when the city has a paving setback, so where that common property line is, the pavement is supposed to be 3 feet from that property line.
It never was 3 feet from that.
That's correct. So he could replace what was there, and you never had any sidewalk in that area. You had all grass. I'll show you the picture in just a second in terms of what you had.
Let this one go and
Yeah.
focus on the one that you're.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay, sir, so I think what we'll have to do is we'll have to have a conversation with you another time so we can get that straightened out. So what we'll do is we'll work with this gentleman here, and we'll figure out what we can do for this one. Okay. So the issue at hand is we have a lot more concrete here than we should,
yes,
and not enough room to do it.
correct.
Okay.
One of the things that maybe could be thought of, if, for example, the gentleman next door is gonna come in, what we could do potentially is whether or not we wanted to hold this and let them come in together and deal with it at that point in time, but we still have this side, I don't know, the west side, there was nothing there and it doesn't mean anything. The front is all, hard surface, so I don't know whether or not the board otherwise, if the board wants, they certainly can take a look at this and say, hey, we're going to approve this, but I can't explain the, distance on the east side because it's going over the property line.
Okay. Okay, so does anybody have any thoughts or questions?
I would suggest that you get documentation from the city that you don't have a server or anything here. You don't really know where your lot lines are, do you?
The fence, if you look at the fence and project to the front of the
You
house,
got, come up with a survey.
approximately.
Show us what you actually own there. I'm a little confused here.
In the sidewalk.
Looks to me like I'm just, if there was a fire there, I could see the whole thing go just all together.
The sidewalk before they did the new sidewalk had that space there, 6 inches. 6 inches. So it wasn't violation, it was that way from, I bought the house in the mid-70s.
So I think what would have happened in that case is if there was the idea of running concrete back there was what you were gonna have to come in front of us anyway. Rather than running it down. So we understand that you don't have enough room to do it, is what the city's requiring you to do, which is why you would have come in front of the board here anyway, just to get that. And then we could have had a different conversation had this all not been done prior to us really getting it.
So did I?
Kevin, you're talking to the wrong guy. He don't own the property. He only rents there, right?
No, he owns the one, he owns the other.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they own both. You have two owners here.
Yes, we're neighbors, yeah.
And they're both okay with where the concrete is, but the problem is, it wasn't, there was no
No permits.
No
2017,
permits,
it's
things
not
like that.
legal, 2022.
Right.
So my question is that you got the permit to build the stoop, but then you decided to continue without?
Correct, yes, correct. That was my problem. That's what I said, because I didn't know that was, I mean, we have just to get 3 feet from the sidewalk. So we just say, okay, you know, what was the reason just to left like 3 feet? So we're gonna just cover everything. And again, I'm sorry just to be doing that one, but I didn't know anything about codes. If we probably hire like a professional company, maybe they know the codes and they should be doing right and tell me like, you know what, this is what happened, but obviously I have not the money just to pay like a professional company. So we decided to do it ourselves and, yes.
You see, there lies our problem. Now we have to make a decision.
I know, I'm sorry about that.
I don't know if it's gonna be
Yeah.
necessarily a favorable one here. So do we have a motion, one way or the other, to approve or deny? Or, well, I don't think there's an option of tabling it. I mean, there's no other conversation except for the space between these two gentlemen, their places here. So we're, yes.
Could I try?
Oh, please do, yes.
I would like to put forth a motion that we ask Fidel
Yes.
to have a property survey done and come back with your results, which will come back with your results, and we could reevaluate. I don't know if we can add this to it, but if we could have this gentleman next door also have a property survey done, completed, and you also bring it forward, then we understand where lot lines are and we can move forward with this board again.
Why would we need 2 surveys?
Okay, first of all, I think the issue is
With Fidel.
with Fidel. So we can require that, and then this gentleman here is gonna have to come have a conversation with the city if you choose, but right now, it sounds like you're gonna be getting a letter, so you're gonna be having a conversation with the city relatively soon, I'm thinking. So right now, Fidel, I think we'll work with your situation here. So you're looking at possibly a survey first. So we have a better understanding of exactly what your lot lines are at for your property. But we still have, regardless of lot lines, we still have concrete that's in the front. We can see that. And so do we address that today as well, or do we wait?
If you wanted to table it and have him bring in the survey to show where the property lines are and where everything is drawn, you could do that and then make that decision at that time. That would be fine as well.
And then that'll give us an opportunity to think on this one and try to figure out, because it looks nice. I mean, I see it. It looks nice. It cleaned it up, that's for sure, but we just have to make sure now everything is proper. So, okay, so we have a motion to have,
Fidel to go
Fidel.
out and have a professional land survey done, property survey done, bring back the results, and at that time, we can work with staff and the board, and we can hold that for right now, but then once we get those results, we can revisit this.
Okay.
okay, all right. So we have that motion. Do we have a second? Second. Okay, so we have a motion and a second to have a survey done. We'll table this for the time being. We'll have a survey done, and then you come back once that survey is done, and then we have another conversation with everything, once we all have a better understanding of what we're looking at. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion?
So there's no movement on this at all today. We're just gonna have the survey to clarify what he owns.
Right, that's correct.
He's gotta come here with clean hands. He doesn't have clean hands right now.
That's correct.
We can't approve anything with.
That's correct. He's already done it. Now we have to clean it up. Right. So we're looking for the survey. So hearing no other discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Okay. Motion passes that we're gonna have the survey done, and then we're gonna table this, and we're gonna have you come back once that survey is done.
Okay.
Okay? Okay. Awesome, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no more concrete pouring.
I know, no more, I
concrete.
promise you. Sorry.
All right, thank you.
Before, I don't understand what you're saying, where I made a mistake.
Well, if you want, I can talk to this gentleman if you want to table or go ahead and finish the
Okay,
agenda.
so next meeting we're gonna have coming up on September 21st, same time, 3 PM, same place. Now do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I second it.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Thank you.
Opposed?
Just right there is good.
Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you. Okay, now we can,
Yeah.